Hey, welcome to your September 2021 update on the best savings accounts here in the UK, the ones that are going to pay you the highest interest, plus a few updates on some things that have been going on in the savings world that you probably need to know about. And let's start off with that savings news. The first one involves Chip. Now, probably every single month that I've been doing this for the last year and a bit, I've talked to you about Chip. This is an auto savings app, some great features that come with it. But when we're talking about it here, it's the interest rate they've been paying. And at the end of August, they closed the Chip Plus One account to new customers. So if you haven't already got one of these, then it's no longer available. And there is a replacement I'll talk about in a minute. But first of all, if you already got it, if you already got up to 10K saved in this account, remember up to £2,000, you don't have to pay a fee for it. Above that, you're paying a charge, which reduces that rate of interest that you're getting. For the moment, that's carrying on. They've said that's staying. I'm sure at some point it will disappear, but your money can still remain there. And it's still a decent bet. When later on we're talking about some of the best accounts right now, the best places to put your money, I'm going to focus on accounts that anyone can open right now. So I will no longer be including Chip Plus One in those tables. But if you've got it and there aren't rates that are beating it elsewhere, then it's a good place potentially to keep your cash right now. But again, I've got separate videos you can always check out on that if you're still unsure about that. But it is closed to new customers. The new account that's come through at the moment, it's only available to, I don't think it's all existing customers. It might just be selected ones. They might be rolling out as time goes along. The idea is it's going to launch fully to everyone from the middle of September. So maybe by the time you watch this, it's already there. Now this account, as they always do, they always say this, they're saying it is a market leading account, the best one out there, that you cannot beat it in terms of easy access accounts. And the rate they've put down for this is 0.7%. So is that true? Well, I'm not going to do the full analysis here. If you want to read more about it, I've got that over on the blog and you can read that. I'll link to that below as well. It goes through everything for the full comparison to other accounts. But let's just look at the highlights here. Technically, at the time we're recording this, 0.7% is the highest rated interest account you can get for easy access. And by easy access, we mean it's something that you can take the money out and put money in whenever you want. There's no restrictions in place there. You cannot beat that. The next best one is from Tandem, which is another online bank, and that is 0.65%. So straight away you can see there is a 0.05% extra interest that you'll be getting on your money. However, it's not as simple as just saying it's that little bit higher than the next one to call it market leading. Because to get that interest rate, you have to be on one of the paid Chip tiers. There are two of these. There's Chip AI, that's £1.50 every 4 weeks, works out £19.50 over a year, or double that for the Chip X one, which is £3 a month. Now, let's ignore that one because that's all about investing. If you're just focusing on the AI, the auto savings algorithm you can get with the Chip AI, that's still, I think, a fee that's not really worth paying when you can get that auto savings feature for free with Plum. We've got a whole video on that if you haven't watched that one, so do check that out. So you're essentially then, well, if you can get that elsewhere, you're just paying this money every single month to get the interest on this account. And although it's better than Chip Plus One in lots of ways, there's no limit. Well, there's 30K limit, I should point out. So £30,000 is the most you can get that interest on, most you can put in that account. But it has compound interest, which Chip Plus One didn't. So in lots of ways, it's a better product. But you're still going to, if you're just looking for a savings product, you're better off putting your money in an account that pays, that Tandem account that pays 0.65%, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. That charge is going to deduct how much you've got. And effectively, the lower amount of money you have in there, you could end up paying more than you're earning. And for a certain amount, it breaks even where the interest earned covers the fee, and then you'll start earning more. And as you do get closer to £30,000, then it gets closer and closer and closer to that what you get with that 0.65%. I guess essentially if they raise that limit and you could get 50, 60, 70,000 pounds in there, then potentially it would be worth that a little bit more. But check out the whole analysis, the full analysis, comparing it to Chip Plus One, comparing it to Tandem, comparing it to other accounts over on the blog. Another bit of news to tell you about involves a website called Raisin. This brands itself as a savings marketplace. So essentially, if you sign up to them, you then have access to a number of different savings accounts from different providers. Some of those rates are exclusive. You can only get them via Raisin. Now, this offer that they're giving for new customers to Raisin, so once you sign up to them and then open up that account with a savings provider, is 50 quid. But to get this 50 quid, you have to save £10,000 in one of their linked accounts, and that money has to stay in there for at least 6 months. Now, that might go, well, I haven't got 10K, that's too much, or I can't afford to lock my money away for 6 months, in which case this isn't for you. However, if you have at least £10,000, I think this is really worth considering. And the way to kind of think about it is 50 quid sounds great and it is nice. But if you convert that to the equivalent interest rate on £10,000 for 6 months or on 12 months, and then add that to the bonus rate, the interest rate you'll get on those accounts, it suddenly makes it much, much, much better than anything you're going to get elsewhere. So let's say it is an easy access account you open or a notice account that you open. There, the money has to stay in for at least 6 months, okay? But let's say you're getting that 10K and it stays there just 6 months and then you take it out. That 50 quid is the equivalent of 1% bonus over 6 months. If it stays in for 12 months, let's say you go for a 12-month fix and that 10K, then it's equivalent to 0.5% bonus over the entire year. So that, when you add that to the interest rates they've got there, and there are some decent ones at the moment. For example, there's a 1.4% interest rate with QIB. Now that's a Sharia compliance account, so it's an expected return rather than interest, but in all examples, they pay out exactly that amount, so it shouldn't be too much of a risk. That's a 12-month fix, 1.41, only a little bit behind the top one at 1.45 at the time of recording, which is via DF Capital. But if you put an extra 0.5% on that, well, that's 1.9%. That is head and shoulders above anything else you're going to get out there. And in 12 months' time, maybe rates have increased again and you can move it somewhere else and you'll get a much, much better rate. Now, if you want an easy access account, then the best option right now is actually a notice account. So you have to give 32 days before you can get this money out. Obviously, if you do that before 6 months is up, you won't get the bonus, but let's just assume you do. That is with Investec via Raisin. They're offering 0.8% just on that account. Obviously, yeah, factor in that 50 quid, do it just for 6 months. So you take that money out, then that's equivalent of like an extra sort of 1% bonus that you're getting on that money over those 6 months. So some really, really good returns that make it much, much better than anywhere else. Obviously, if you have less than £10,000, then potentially there might be better options for you because you won't be entitled to that welcome bonus. And before we get on to the latest news, the best places I think you should put your money for September 2021, just a quick heads up, inflation fell to 2% last month. So a drop from that 2.5% that we saw the month before, but still very, very, very few accounts actually above the rate of inflation right now. And that's probably likely that's going to carry on for the rest of the year, if not into 2022. But you still want to be aiming to get the highest possible rate you can and the highest possible return on your money so you don't effectively lose money in real terms. Okay, let's head over to the blog now to becleverwithyourcash.com. And this is where I list all the best savings accounts. So head over there to get all the updates, find out what the best regular savers are this month, the best easy access accounts, the best ethical accounts, all that stuff over on becleverwithyourcash.com. But this is my kind of little update of if you're starting from scratch, you're trying to find the best accounts right now, you don't have a decent rate, where you should go based on how much money you have to save. Now, the best place if you have £1,000 or under is a Virgin Money M Plus current account, simply because this offers the highest interest rate for a decent amount of cash. It is capped at £1,000 balance earning the interest, but you get 2.02%. So over a year, you get £20.20. Now, technically, you can actually open up more of these. You can apply to Virgin Money, and if they agree and they want to, they will give you more of these accounts. So you could have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Someone told me they had at least 14 of those. Comment below to let me know how many you've got, if you've got more than that. Now, I think maybe that's a little bit of a faff because you are credit checked every time you open up one of these new accounts. So there might be other things you want to prioritize before doing this. And in fact, there are other current accounts. I do my regular current account video updates, be another one of those the next week, where you can get more money in a year, but not in interest. It's just in a monthly reward. So they're probably better to prioritize than more of these. But I certainly think it's a great place to start off. Also, if you haven't had this account before and you've got an old one, you can switch into that one for the first time. And at the moment, it's a £150 Virgin Experience voucher that you'll get on top that you can use for all sorts of things. Now, if you've got a little bit more money, let's say between £1,000 and £6,000, I would actually look at another current account to go for here. Now, this is the Club Lloyd's current account. This one doesn't give the best rate. I mentioned earlier on 0.65% from Tandem. That is better than the 0.6% that you can get from Club Lloyd's on balance between £1,000 and £4,000. But you do get some freebies with this one, which I think, again, knocks it up a little bit. As long as you go to the cinema or rent movies online, those freebies, magazine subscriptions as well, if you'd rather one of those, they're worth between 40, 50, 60 quid on top. So I definitely would sort of check that out. And if you have extra on this, you have between £4,000 and £5,000 to save in this account, then you get 1.5% on that little bit extra. So ultimately, if you have £5,000 in that account, it works out 0.78%, which obviously is better than that Tandem account, plus you get those freebies as well. Okay, let's have a look now at a little bit more money. And let's look at balances between £6,000 and £11,000. Now, you obviously could do what I've said before in that example before, have that Club Lloyd's account and then open up this Tandem Easy Access account for the next sort of 4 or 5K that you've got to save in there. But for simplicity, to not have your money jotted around in too many places, I think maybe just open up one of these Tandem Easy Access accounts. 0.65%. It is app only though. So if you're not quite keen on doing banking on your phone, then you might want to look for some cheaper options out there. Now, beyond that, let's go back to that Raisin deal I told you about before and that Investec 32-day notice period account. If you've got 10K and you can put it away for 6 months, then I think this is well worth looking at. 0.8% is already better than you're going to get with that Tandem account, plus that 50 quid bonus on top. So that I think is nice. Put 10K in there. And obviously you could do that before if you'd rather. If you have less money, 0.8% is still better than 0.65%, isn't it? Just got to bear in mind that 32-day notice period. Beyond that, I then go back to that Club Lloyd's current account again for anything for that next sort of chunk of cash beyond that. Again, because you're going to get the equivalent 0.78% in interest if you've got that full £5,000 and you're going to be sort of getting those freebies, it's a nice, easy one to go for. And if bank switching offers do come back with Lloyd's previously, and I can't guarantee they will come back or the same deal will happen, but previously you were able to switch into it as an existing customer and get that bonus as well. Now, finally, if you've got more than £16,000 to save, I would start off again with a nice Virgin Money M Plus current account with £1,000 in there. Nice and easy to get to, earning a bit of money. You guarantee it's getting as close to the rate of inflation as you can. Then you could combine to those options I've said before, but I would possibly be tempted, as long as you've got more than £5,000, to look at premium bonds. Now this goes up to 50K, that's the most you can put in there. But the win rate here is 1%. Now, that doesn't mean you'll get 1%, but the more money you have in there, the closer you're going to get to that. Now, my experience so far, I put some money in at the start of the year. I put 10K in. Average rate of luck would suggest over 12 months, I would get probably about 0.8%, something like that, 0.75%, something around there. I've actually won 4 times on that. I've got 4 times 25 quid, £100. I have made 1% back already with September. So I've got October, November, December, and a January draw. 4 more draws to go in that 12 months. If I don't win anything else on that, I've still beaten the best easy access accounts that existed a year ago and exist to this day, which is great. And maybe I'll win a little bit more. But there is obviously no guarantee that you are going to get anything with this. And it might be, as mentioned last week in my update, in the August savings update, as we're seeing the 1-year fixes increasing, remember that best one right now, 1.4, 1.41, 1.45, all around there. That is guaranteed amount of money. And locking that money away for 12 months, that would almost certainly be any amount of cash you have in premium bonds, even the top level as a guarantee. There's always obviously the chance that you might get lucky and win one of the big prizes. But for most of us, it's smaller amounts of 25 quid adding up over time. So if you want to get more information about all those different savings accounts I've talked about today, do go to becleverwithyourcash.com/savings. That will take you to my regularly updated list of the best accounts. If you've got any questions, put them below, leave me a comment, hit that like button, you know how to do all this, and I will see you again soon. Cheers. And here are a couple more videos you might find interesting.